Hello and welcome, friends. It's Bashir Fadl as we continue our journey into Linux administration. If you enjoyed today's session, please don't hesitate to subscribe. A big part of what we do as Linux administrators is with file manipulations. There are files that are coming in, files that are going out, files that we need to review, things that we need to move around, create directories. So all of that file manipulation or file management, we're going to touch on it today. Remember that every command on Linux, you can always look up the manual. And the shortcut for that is MAN. So I know that I need to copy files from one place to the other. The command is CP. Let's look at the manual real quick before we get started. So I'm going to type in MAN space CP, enter, and you can see the definition and start showing me that, if you put a -A, a -B, what that means. And there's a column, which means there's more information. So I can press enter, 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 keep reading more about that command. Once I'm done, I'll put the letter Q, which means quit, and I'm out to the command line again. Once I have a lot of things, you're going to notice I'm going to type the word clear. I don't want you guys distracted. So when I do clear, basic means clear the screen, and it's a fresh screen. So every so often of entering a few commands, I'm going to type in the word clear, which means let's clear the screen and start fresh. Another thing is I know what this directory is, best admin, but assuming that I'm new to the company, I'm not sure what path it is. Is this under, the home directory, the Oracle directory? What directory is that under? So I want to see what directory am I working under. So I want to print my working directory. Print my working directory. So the command is pwd, print, and that shows me that you're in /home/oracle/bestadmin. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with a couple of commands today. The first one is the cd command, which is change directory. Let's list the directories that we have. So we have a directory. This is in blue. Linux scripts, Oracle scripts. I want to go into Linux scripts. So I'm going to change the directory. There's a couple of ways I could do it. There's a long way to do it, which I know it's going to be home/oracle/bestadmin/Linux scripts. So I can type in /cd/home/oracle/bestadmin/Linux scripts. And by the way, when you start typing and you tab kind of does like an autocomplete. I can do it this way. Or since I'm already all the way at the best admin, I can do / and just type in Linux scripts and I'm there. Similarly, if I want to go back one directory, I can do cd and then type in all the stuff such as home/oracle/bestadmin. So it's to go back before Linux scripts. Or I could just put cd and then 2 dots. 2 dot means take me one directory back. If I want to go 2 directories back, it's going to be / another 2 dots, which means 2 directories back. In this case, I want to go back from Linux scripts back to bestadmin, enter, and I'm back at bestadmin again. So this is a quick kind of introduction to the change directory command, which is used quite a bit. The next one is listing. A lot of times we need to list our files. So ls allows us to list what's in there. ls -la shows us if there's any hidden files as well. Sorry, -a, we'll kind of list it. The one that's generally used is the ls -la. So that gives us all the details. Or if you're looking at files chronologically from the latest files that are created to the older stuff that you have, then you'll do it with a timestamp. So it's ls- instead of la, it'll be lt. And we're going to start with the most recent file all the way down to kind of the oldest ones that we have with all the details. So this shows us the ownership, the access that people have, the owner, the size, the date, and the file name or the folder or directory name that we're working with. Next, we have, if I am trying to create a directory, I want to create a directory. The command is to make a directory is mkdir, and then you put the directory name that you're trying to create. So I'm trying to create a directory called, let's say Python. Press enter. Now, if I do list, you can see the latest one that I have folder is Python. So mkdir is the command to make a directory. Now I want to remove a file or remove a directory. So I want to remove this file here or delete it basically. So it's rm and then the file name and press enter and that file is gone. So let's list and see. Sure enough, it's gone. But now I want to remove a directory. How can I remove a directory? It's rm with a -r parameter. So rm -r, and I'm going to put the name Python of the directory we created. Let's list it. And sure enough, it's gone. So rm and then the file name removes the file. rm -r and then the directory name removes the directory or the folder that we're trying to delete. What if I want to move a file? I want to move a file from one location to the other, or just kind of rename, kind of moving it. So we're not copying in this case. So it's the same thing as move. I'm going to put move, and then the original name. In this case, it's Linux script2.txt. I want to move it to Linux script3.txt within the same directory. I no longer have 2. I only have 3. Or I could have moved it to a directory. So it would have been slash and then the path and then slash the final name. So this is how we could move a file from one location to the other. In some cases, we're trying to create a file. So you can go through an editor such as the VI editor to create a file, or we have a command called touch. So touch just basically creates that empty bucket. So I want to create a file called Linux scripts2. So I'm going to type in touch linux2.txt. Now if we list, sure enough, we have a file called Linux2. Just clear the screen. So the touch command allows us to create a file, an empty shell, basically. A lot of times we want to see the contents of a file. There's multiple ways to do it. I don't want to get into an editor and edit it. I just want to see what's in that file very quickly to see if that's the file I need to work with. So I'll just type in more and then the file name. So we have a Linux 1 that I have some commands in there. So let's look at it. Sure enough, it starts with this. Here's the words. And I can press enter because there's more to it. But once I'm done, the letter Q, which means quit, and I'm out to the command line again. I'm just going to clear the screen again. All right. Sometimes I just want to see the first, let's say 10 lines of a file. I want to make sure it's just the right file, or maybe there's some parameter, I just want to check on the file. So if I want to see the first 10 lines of the file, I'll type in head and then the name of the file. And that's going to show me the first lines. If I want to see the last lines of a file, I'm going to use the word tail and then the file name. And sure enough, it gives me the last 10 lines within that file. So head, the first 10 lines, tail, the last 10 lines. Another thing that we're going to use quite a bit in Linux administration, once we get into the Oracle database side of the house and backups, and we need to export and also kind of compress the files, we're going to use what's called the tar, which allows us to archive files and also create kind of compressed files using gzip. So we're going to talk about that more in the future. But for now, we're just going to introduce the concept that you have the right as the Linux administrator to tar files and compress files, or zip the files, just because of the nature of, again, you're going to have tons of files from different systems, and you might be running out of space, and that's the quickest thing to do. Oh, that's the right thing to do anyways. So in that case, if you want to archive an existing file, you'll do a tar cf, and then you would enter the compressed file tar file name. And if you want to extract that archive file, the command is tar xf and then the compressed file.tar name. The next thing is if you want to zip that file, gzip a compressed file, you can run the command tar czf and you enter the compressed file tar, gzip file name. And if you want to compress a file with the gz extension, it's gzip and then the file name. Okay, like I said, just introducing the concept, just to be aware that we also have that capability with files to compress and archive them. But once we get into the Oracle database side of the house, and we're going to see all the backups and stuff and export of the database, it's going to take a lot of space. Part of what the administrator also needs to do, and we're going to cover it there, is kind of compressing those files. Thanks for joining us today's session. We look forward to seeing you. Please don't hesitate to subscribe so you can get more of the latest information. Thank you.